he grabs you by the lapels, Bran.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
And he says to you, "We have no room for sorries, apologies, or hurt feelings." And he's like, "Maybe you're not ready to come and sit in a commander's tent." And he points across the way to this glowing cauldron over here. And he says, "Make yourself useful. At least clean out these medical supplies. And leave the planning to real men." And he shoves you away.
Shit.
My eye just twitched. I'm not kidding. My eye just twitched.
This is perfect. This is Rafni. Yes.
No. This is awesome, Charles.
He's a piece of
I hate
shit.
him. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait. I have the perfect thing to play. Charles, guess what? Hey, Charles, guess what?
What?
You're owning.
Yay! All right. Proceed.
All right. And he, Rafni looks at you, Rinverhi, and he kind of leans in, and he's giving you like a fucking stank ass look, man. And he's just like, "Don't let your weakness infect these men. We're losing this war. The last thing we need is softness."
I will do my job, Uncle.
And he just snaps away with kind of a disappointed look, like he doesn't even believe you, and starts walking out the door. And he's
Very stares after him, like, hard. You actually.
Just blades in his back.
How are you a cleric of Kaja?
Oh.
All right, so Nyx, you are heading up north a little bit here, and there is a group of these knights, and they are standing around here. And hold on, I think there's one more, and I guess get zoom in a bit. There we go. So these four guys are kind of standing around while some other like kind of low-level soldiers like you guys, like new recruits, are like digging these holes for graves to put people in out here. And they see you kind of coming over, and they're just like, "You there, come." And they point to another shovel over here on the ground.
She will go ahead and pick up a shovel.
I love that you're just like, "Dude, the army sucks."
Yeah.
This whole fucking thing sucked.
It sucks so bad, but it's so great.
No, Charles is owning, but the war sucked.
Yes.
So the guy goes over and there's a shovel there, and he wants you to grab the shovel, and the knight, you can tell like he's holding like some sort of like a duffel bag or something like down here next to him, like a weird kind of maroon brownish colored duffel bag. And as you like walk up to get the shovel, he kind of drops it at your feet. And when he does, you can tell, oh, it's just a bundle of blankets like around someone, who's died. And they're like, as it flops to the ground, like it kind of opens where you could see the person like all, burnt up on the inside. And it's like they got like the whole Two-Face thing going on where like half their face was like fireballed or something, there's little bits of bone sticking out and all that. It's pretty rough. But the most interesting thing is as you look down at it, you are like, dude, this looks exactly like the person that we just saw die in the table inside.
The worst.
Are all dead people going to be her?
Go ahead and roll a will save.
All right. Oh shit, no. How do you get... Ignore that.
Roll the dice.
I love seeing all the dice fall too. Just like, bleh.
I don't want to.
All right, here we go. All right, 22.
Okay. So it's a little startling, and you get this like kind of like that same pain in your stomach where you're like, oh, it's like I got this sinking feeling in my gut. But the yeah, you kind of feel grossed out at the fact that you're like, were these like twins? Were the sisters? Is this a whole family of people that might have got killed over this war? Like, what are we even fighting for? You know, what is it good for? You don't know. Absolutely nothing.
Say it again.
So he tells you, start with this one, and we'll get the other from inside.
Well, what do you want me to do with her?
And he just like points to where right next to you there's a guy like digging a hole like for a body, and he's like putting the body in the hole right now. And it's like this dude is trying his best as one person to lower a body into like a big hole he dug. And it is not anywhere near as graceful as you'd hope it would be. And this body's like flop, 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 and kind of like crumples and falls in there all goofy like in a very undignified way. It's pretty horrifying.
I don't know why, but that like from Nyx, that makes her like, that upsets her. She's gonna like give that guy, the stank guy. I'm sure he couldn't not handle it. What am I trying to say? He couldn't help it.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's like, oh my god, and he's like trying to fix it the best he can, but it's just undignified all the way around.
Like shit, man. So yeah, she's.
Let me ask you this: do you want to help that guy? Do you want to help him first, and maybe compose this person better? Like pay them more respects or something? Or just like, hey, we got a pile of these, we got to keep going?
No, she'll help.
Okay.
Like, do it right, man.
Yeah, and the guy's just like, I've been digging all day. My arms, they feel like they're going to fall off. I'm sorry. And he starts like straightening up the person more and getting them, put their arms on their chest kind of thing. And he starts like brushing the hair out of their face. Yeah, it's the same person. Go ahead and roll yourself a will save at a -10.
Nyx! Nyx!
You never help bury bodies, man. It's always bad.
Especially when they're all
I didn't go to body school, man.
Or, sorry, an old version of you.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, so that's a 21.
All right.
It came up as a 31 for me.
-10.
Yeah, I'm doing -10.
-10. Yep.
So you are now you're freaking out. You're like, what is this, man? Why does everybody look the same? Like, you're suddenly like, is there something special about this and that's when it hits you, like there is something special about this person. And now you're struggling in your mind to be like, do I know them? Do I know this person? Are they related to me? Are they my friend? You're trying to figure it out, and you're kind of like backing away from this guy. And make a reflex check, please.
Don't fall into a hole, Nyx. Don't do it. Don't fall into a hole.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Only you can prevent falling
Please.
from a hole.
Only you can prevent falling into a hole.
31, please.
Okay.
Yay.
All right. So yeah, you start to slip into a hole, but manage to catch yourself. And it starts like sliding away. And you realize like this is very wet dirt, like it's kind of like a meadowy kind of wetness. And you're like, dude, I could 100% fall and sink into one of these holes. And I might not be able to get out if one of these guys isn't around to help me, or somebody else, So that's freaky in its own right. And you definitely need to just take a minute to kind of collect yourself here. Meanwhile, Bran, they're sending you over to the cauldron.
The cauldron.
Cauldron.
Wait, before as he goes over, Rinverhi will reach out and like touch his arm, and like look back at him, and he'll say, "Thank you for checking on me."
Of course.
And
It's like,
just
I don't
nod.
even know you, man.
But he did. He was so nice. No one's nice around here. Just
No one's nice
his
around
hand.
here, and it
and his
sucks.
hand falls away, and he just watches after him go towards the hall.
That's
Just
the
like
thing.
the sheepishly watches him go.
Yeah, Rinverhi's just like, hey man, did you know, like, I appreciate you being nice to me, because I don't know if you noticed, but everybody else around here fucking sucks. You know?
Mhm.
All right, so Rinverhi, you're heading out to follow Uncle. Bran is heading over to the cauldron. This is like, there is some kind of glowing green residue inside of this cauldron that looks super either poisonous, toxic, or acidic. But this is what you're assigned to clean, Bran. What do you think?
Yay.
Fuck that guy.
Just throw some dirt on it. I don't know. You know?
Ah, fuck, dude.
Sawdust.
Sawdust, yeah.
You'll absorb it.
I guess just like try to like look around for like anything suitable, because this is not. I am not touching this with my bare fucking hands, good sir.
All right, roll yourself a perception check. As you do that, you can kind of hear there is another guy just wailing in pain on the kind of, let's say, triage table next to next to the cauldron, kind of on the far side there.
Mhm.
The field knight that's with him is literally just has a hand on this guy's chest, just like keeping him pinned to that table. You know, not really sure why, but it's the guy doesn't seem to like it. That's for sure. What'd you get on your roll there?
31.
Okay.
Brad's just gonna lightly mind his business. He's already gotten in trouble.
So you realize on the table there to your left, there are some bowls and spoons and things like that that you could probably easily use to scrape the inside of the cauldron. And also to the right, there are those broken, old, crumbly pews that you could probably break some wood off and scrape out if you wanted to as well. So whichever you prefer.
I feel like I'm gonna sawdust it.
Okay. So you can go for the pews, desecrate a church.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You know, we can
Blasphemy in the church! It's not like anybody's gonna be using it anytime soon! Yay!
Yeah,
Blasphemy
break
is
stuff.
the best all-purpose cleaner.
All right, so you head over there and you manage to shimmy off a piece pretty easy. One or two, boom, boom, boom. And you've got a couple of good kind of spatula-like, wooden spatula-like objects that you're thinking, okay, I can probably get a good amount of that gunk out of here without ruining any of the nicer health equipment that's on the table over there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's have you roll a... I'm going to go with survival on this one. You guys have something akin to survival, yes?
We do have a survival. I have a
think we just
19 in it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nature
Nice.
boy.
Yeah.
A
that's what
nature
I'm saying.
boy.
Nature boy who actually loves.
That's what it
Oh!
Yeah, this is brand coded.
Go.
This is
Let's
brand
go. Let's go.
Rise up,
boy.
gamers. Rise
Rise
up.
up, gamers.
So you start snapping up these pieces of wood, and as you're doing it, you realize you're looking at it and you're like, this grain runs the long way. If I snap it this way here, it'll make these kind of convex shapes, and now I can clearly get in here with a little two-handed scraper action and clean out this pot. And you're like, also, I know from doing this in the woods, if I roll it up, I can kind of rest it against my knee and scrape it, and what I'm scraping will like exit out and away from me. I won't get it on anything. And I can actually use part of the back end of the pew where it's still connected as kind of like a trough where I can be dumping it into that trough to keep it from ruining the floor, my hands, or any other catch-all equipment. So you're just like, boom, you set to work at it, and in no time, you are just like spick and spanning this freaking cauldron here. And you're the scrubbing bubbles, man. It does the work.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, you're making it happen.
Yeah, you're owning.
You're owning
I'm loading.
So as you're kind of going along here and you're scraping through it, it's starting to get like real nice and clean and look good. And you're just working, you turn it, scrape, turn it, scrape, turn it, scrape, dunk, turn it, scrape, dunk. And you're getting all this weird green glowy goo out of there. And as you're kind of sitting there, you realize like, man, this is a nice cauldron, dude. Like, I really like this,
Bran,
And
what's your fucking deal with cauldrons?
you're like, it's so nice, and like, it's like sturdy, and I feel like I could cook in here. Do you know what kind of good stuff I could cook in here? And Bran, in your head, you hear it. I know what you can cook in here. You can cook anything you like in here. We'll make such good meals together. You and me, buddy. Just like always. You and me. What do you got? Some deer? What do you got? Some potatoes? I love me some potatoes. What are we cooking?
So you know.
Bran is crying a little.
I'm gonna die for Carl. I will lose it all for Carl.
I'm gonna lose it all for Carl.
So, you are now mystified by this talking cauldron, and it has spoke to you in your brain, and you're like, oh my god. And now the possibilities of what you guys can cook start running through your head. And you're like, oh, wait, we're in this kind of marshy area. Maybe I can get some like mushrooms and stuff. Or we can use like some peat moss to kind of thicken it up. And I bet there are slugworms that I can use. And you hear the voice in your head be like, oh, and there's lots of dead bodies around. We can cut those up too. Damn, good meat.
Just eyes go wide. Like, oh no.
Please roll me a will save. I'm gonna love it when the others come back and you're just eating people.
A haunting
Just take the
visit.
leg. They don't need the leg.
Oh,
This
well,
guy
yeah.
must have been some kind of clown. He tastes funny.
Please. Oh.
You're just like,
That's a
Hey,
2-3 for
hey.
the recording.
Hey, so
It's a 23.
So Bran, I just want you to know I'm not okay with cannibalism in this group. Just so you know, I'm frowning
in this
very
group.
hard. I'm frowning very hard upon it.
I am also frowning very hard.
you're just like, okay, like
Adorable.
you're not like on board, but Carl's not hearing to know,
Oh my god.
No shelf.
Cycling. Shelve it. Stick a pin in that.
Rinverhi, you're making your way outside.
Yes.
Rafni is now a few steps ahead of you, and he's heading towards the tent there in the south west side. And as he approaches, you see that there are a couple of these field knights out here. And there is Selir. And they are with
So
another
He's so
cleric
baby.
that you can see. And Selir is laying a blessing upon them. And is telling them everything's going to be good. When morning comes, Kazuya will watch over us, and us especially, those chosen who shine the light on the dark parts and destroy it. we will be the ones who are victorious. Because that is what it means to follow Kazuya. To use the burning power of the sun to eradicate darkness from this world. In all forms, in all measures. The sun is unforgiving, and so shall we be. And the guy's just like, yeah. You know? And
As Rinverhi is listening, his hand like goes to his chest where you would normally feel the weight of his holy symbol, but nothing's there.
Nothing's there.
Fist, but he nods. Words.
And you can see the field knight behind him, just kind of looking around, and he's kind of puffing up his chest back there. He's looking a little proud to be part of the cause. And roll me a perception check.
Modify. 23. God, I'm really bad. I have a plus 19.
So,
You're taking not being Kosha's cleric really personally.
Yes, I am.
So this the blessings are not upon you this day.
No, they're not.
But you kind of are like, you're really put off by this. You can't 100% tell why, but you're like, there's something like, no, the field knights should not be out here grinding young kids, soldiers, you know, like younger people, like not kids obviously, but you know, like young people into the dirt for their cause of eradicating indiscriminately.
No.
Like, it sounds like this is a way abuse of that mentality, of that power, like it's become twisted somehow. And you can't help but feel like Selir knows better, but you know who probably put them up to this.
Eyes wander over to the back of Rafni's head. Staring hard at him.
Dun, 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 dun.
I pull out my sword.
Slice his head off!
So,
old man.
Selir kind of notices you, you know, as the soldier or the cleric that's with her kind of stands up, and or with him, excuse me. And Selir's like, "Oh, cousin, come and have a blessing of your own."
Oh, I would be honored. And Rinverhi steps forward.
And you see Selir kind of pull out their holy symbol, and they're holding it still from before. And they like reach out, and as they reach out, your uncle reaches out his hand and like kind of puts Selir's away, like kind of pushes it away. And it's like, don't waste blessings on him. He was being soft to the men earlier. One of them is inside scraping cookingware now. Thanks to your cousin.
Yeah, I'm very taken aback, and like this flash of like some embarrassment, but also like mostly anger. It flares and it courses through his veins, and he brightens for a moment as he looks at Rafni. Kindness is not weakness.
I would expect you to say as much, because you're soft. Do you think the sun shows mercy, or does it shine on regardless?
It shines on those who are deserving. It shines on everyone.
But should it?
Yes.
Then you will never understand. This is why you're not one of us. This is why no blessings will be wasted on you.
I don't want to be one of you.
What?
You don't know what it means to bless.
How dare you? And he like takes a swipe at you. Roll a reflex check.
Okay.
He's gonna like backhand like lady slap you too. That's mean.
Oh my
God.
God.
Stop,
My beautiful boy.
My beautiful boy.
beautiful, 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 beautiful Rinverhi.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Rinverhi's no good bad day.
oh man.
Rinverhi.
Yeah. The challenge is rough as you're just kind of backhanded across the face.
Oof.
Like not hard. Well, I mean hard, but not like
Hard.
Yeah, not like
Yeah.
crazy.
It's not.
Yeah, you're
it's
sending
not
a
hard,
message, not
Yes.
trying
Yeah,
to beat
it's
me.
not hard enough to like send you to the ground, I would imagine.
Yeah, but there's like
Okay.
he turned away a bit, and just his face stings, and the light in him through his veins it burns brighter and wavers, and he just looks back at his uncle, challenging, like, it's going to take more than that to beat me down.
He's like, is that so? Why don't we just see what it takes then? And he kind of steps back and he reaches into his tunic and he pulls out his sword. And it's a giant flaming sword.
Kill him. Kill him.
Kill him.
And just Rinverhi just seeing the light, just seeing that flaming sword, he just mutters under his breath, like spitefully, like, "You are not worthy."
Roll yourself a will save. Kill him.
I want to kill him so bad.
That chat in there is crazy. Just kill him.
Kill him. All right. Oh my god, I've been rolling low on my will. I've been putting plus 19. I have a plus 21. My bad.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Oh.
Every little
I've
bit
been
counts.
Why are you selling
Yeah.
yourself short?
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. The being in like, a minor and having like my holy symbol crushed really got to me.
That was
31.
you failed an actual will save. That's why you were putting 3 points lower.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. It really affected me. But yeah, that's a 31.
Okay. So 31, as you see that blade, you're just like, the dawn light. That's my blade. Like, you know it. You know it with every
Mhm.
fiber of your being. And you're like, in this moment, you're like, I am a cleric of Khazia. I'm the only true cleric of Khazia.
Yes!
You don't quite have all your memories back, but of that, there can be no doubt.
Yes.
Yes!
Yes!
All right.
Yes!
Yes! That's our cleric of Koja! That's our boy!
Okay. You're following the sexy man out to the little cabin in the
boy,
corner.
Oh boy! 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 Okay. All right. Whee! Thank you, Endo.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
thank
you.
you,
There's one
thank
for
you,
both.
thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Really good work.
Well, this is where the game gets fun. So
It's fun.
you
Yeah, it's
you
already
walk
been
in
fun.
you walk inside this little shack here, and this guy's like, if we come inside this broken out shack here, I'll show you. And as soon as you walk inside and cross the threshold, he turns around and like just lunges at you. You know,
Oh, special training.
pushes you
See.
up against the wall. You know,
Okay.
And you can feel the way like his arm kind of, you know, his hand comes up and grabs you like around your elbow, and it's weird, but it's like it's a very like it's a smooth way of grabbing somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fluent, his motion.
Yes. And he's quick and he's fast and he pins you up
Right.
against this
Do
wall
it.
in no time.
Ow,
And the way he
ow.
kind of growls as he like leans into you, it makes you do like this number where you're like, whoa, and you kind of lean up like that. And you're kind of like exhilarated for a second because you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
And then you realize that hand that's coming across your chest, there's a dagger right in line with it.
Okay. Yeah,
And-
right. Yeah, right up on me. Okay.
Yeah, he lays it right across your collarbone,
Mm-hmm.
and you realize you have mistaken that kind of intensity in his eyes, and he looks like he wants to kill you.
Hot fantasy Sean Connery. I thought we had something.
You're just like, oh my god,
Deal breaker.
this is totally how I wanted to die.
Okay. Woo. All right.
He's got
I'm
you
normal.
pinned up there, and you're kind of like, starting to realize the situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
as
this is
he's-
the exact opposite of training. As he kind of like looks down at him.
and he like shoves his kind of forearm into you for a second, and he's like, well, I'm sure you've had plenty of training, haven't you? Considering what you are, to come here, really.
What? What on earth are you talking about? As Kay is trying to like worm his way like away, just trying to like give some sort of leeway, some sort of like any space between the two of them, but there is none. I don't think Kay is able to do that with the position that he's in.
Yeah, this guy's got you locked up pretty good, where you're like, he's got, your dominant arm kind of pinned down, and then his whole body weight like laying across your collarbone, and you were already on tiptoes, so you're kind of like in a bad situation.
Yeah.
Yep. And you can tell he's staring at you, and the way he's staring at you, like his eyes are darting back and forth, like he's searching for something in your eyes.
What
What
are
do
you talking about?
You're not supposed to be here. You're mucking everything up.
Mucking everything up? What are you talking about? As Kay just kind of like, it's like, Kay isn't like shouting, but it's kind of like whisper shouting, like, what the fuck? Just like, and he like looks around the like shack, and he's trying to like see if there's like anything that he could use, or like try to like maybe like, can he reach into his pocket, can he grab anything? But I don't think he can.
You can roll a perception check, and
yeah, let me roll perception.
as you're kind of scanning the room with your eyes, he kind of low growls at you again, and he's like,
Nat 20.
nice.
Rise up, gamer.
He says to you, he's like, stop playing coy with me. Tell me why you're here before things get dirty.
Dirt?
And
I am
you're
going
like-
to tell you now. Yeah, go on, Brad.
You're leaned up again as you're talking, so this is kind of Simo, right? Like as you're leaning up, your hand behind you is feeling the fireplace that you're up against, and you find a loose brick.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna hold. I'm not moving my hand yet. I'm gonna keep it there. I'm just gonna have it ready, and just coy. What about this is coy? I don't know who you are. Get off of me.
And you can see he's kind of putting the pieces together in his head.
You
really-
think who do you think I am? I don't know who you are. Get off of me.
And you say that, and he kind of does actually let you go, and he keeps his dagger kind of at the ready on his hand. But now he's kind of got a hand between you, like he's like, "Are you serious? You don't know why you're here?"
No, I don't know why I'm here. In fact, I don't even know where I am. I don't know why there's bodies on the ground. There are people dressed in these suits of armor, and there's a war. But what war? What are we fighting for? Why am I here? How did I get here? And I think Kay is like, his voice is like raising, like very frustrated, because it's kind of like all coming together that like he doesn't know where he is. How did he get here? For a minute he was back in a tavern, and now he's here in the middle of a fucking bloody battlefield, and people are dying around him, and there are clerics all over for Kaja, and he just doesn't understand. What war? What are they fighting for?
So as you keep raising your voice more and more, you've got your footing now, right? You're on balance. You're ready for a fight this time. You still kind of have your hand back, because like you said, you didn't reveal the brick yet, but it's there.
No,
and
I have it, yeah.
He kind of gently reaches out this time and like grabs you by the forearm again. And it's like, all right, calm down. We'll figure this out. But that's why you haven't been using any of your abilities. You don't remember anything, do you?
No. I don't know. And Kay is just like, his eyes are like darting around as his hand kind of like, his free hand anyway, that kind of like raises up and kind of like cups his face. It's like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know how I got here.
You and your friends are in grave danger then. Something is very, very wrong. But I can help you.
What friends? Who are you? You say you can help me and take me into the shack. You point a knife at me, and now suddenly you want to help me?
And he kind of holds the knife in a very less threatening posture. And it's like, well, I thought you were here to start a damn war. And I'm not talking about pigmen and damn fire people. I meant like a real war.
Pigmen? Fire? So you do remember that? I saw you! And he'll point. In that tavern, you were in the court, you gave me a piece of silver. And like, I think he's even gonna like pat his butt. Does he still have the silver?
And weirdly enough, like you would have sworn that was a dream 2 seconds ago, but as soon as the guy mentions it, you're like, holy shit, wait, that, and you reach down and you're like, no, you have the soldier uniform on now, so you don't have the coin from earlier.
No. Yeah.
So now again, you're kind of like, I'm not sure if that was a dream or not.
Yeah, it's just like, Kay has, listen, he's felt a lot of things today. Now he's in the middle of the fucking battleground. Where is he? What's happening? And it's just like it's very evident that he is stressed out by the situation. Just kind of like massaging his temple, trying to connect any puzzle pieces of who and where and how he got here and who the fuck this guy is.
And he's just kind of like keeping pace with you, like trying to just stay in your realm of attention as you're kind of moving back and forth. And he says, if you can't remember, then we need to find you a touchstone. Something from your world. Something you remember. What did you bring with you? What did you see here that you remember?
Kay starts to like, he's trying to think, what did he bring here? What did he bring? Like he's patting himself down, trying to see if there's like anything that is like going to trigger a memory. He'll stare at it for a couple seconds, but ultimately nothing. And Kay's just like, I don't know what I brought. I don't know what I had.
Appear here in that chapel?
I was sinking into the floor of that cavern. I couldn't move. There was the Ifrit, and she needed water. And he pauses, like trying to recall. It all happened so quickly, and then suddenly, I blink, and I'm here, surrounded by the very same people I saw moments ago. But she's not. I don't understand.
Let's go back to the chapel. There has to be a clue there. There has to be.
Who are you?
My name is Devlin Dominiani. I am with the Vishtani. I'm one of their commanders.
Well, I would say it's a pleasure, but I'm not feeling very pleasured right now. As Kay just kind of, he was holding the brick, and now I think it drops to the floor. He's not holding it anymore, and he just kind of like cups its face in his hands and holds it there, just like.
Devlin kind of
Okay.
steps forward and he like grabs both, like he tries to grab both your hands, like take your hands and put them together like prayer style. Sorry. And
Mhm.
he puts them together kind of in front of you and he looks you in the eye very sincerely. And he's like, one way or the other, we'll get out of this. All right. We just have to work together. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
All right. And then he kind of takes you by the hand back out the door to head where you came from.
Okay, we'll squeeze his hand.
All right. So he's heading back out this way.
Yay!
Back to the chapel.
Yay!
Help, Devlin.
As you guys head inside here, Kay, you kind of have a fleeting glance at this person that you were like, oh, yeah, I remember coming in here with them. And you just see Nyx in a little grave digging away. And you're like,
Yeah.
that somehow seems right. I don't know why.
Oh God.
Yeah. Kate would like kind of like stop in his tracks, just like watching her before he's just like, I have to keep going, and like hurries along.
All right, so Nyx, you're down there digging the hole.
I'm digging.
Roll me an athletics check, please.
Let's see. 28, please.
Nice. All right. So you're scooping along in the hole there, and you're starting to get into like this wetter and wetter dirt. And as it gets wetter towards the bottom, like that water tension is making it harder and harder to like scoop out of the bottom of the pit that you're digging. And it's not particularly very big. You've only been at it, 15 minutes or something. So it's not very, very deep, but you're like, dude, this is so incredibly daunting. Like you can handle it. You're fine. But you're like, there's like 4 other dudes just standing around that are like giant armored guys. Like there has to be like a better way to do things here.
Yeah, Nyx is just gonna be like, ugh. Hey, you!
Huh?
To the guy right next to her.
Okay.
Is that the guy who? Is that the guy who she's already fussed at?
No, that guy's not
Okay.
technically on the board. These are just the 4 guards
Okay.
or the field knights.
Yeah, okay. So, why aren't you guys helping?
What?
What?
Do your job.
You heard what I said.
Do your job,
Do
recruit.
your job.
And he's like, hey, no more sass out of you. And he kind of like kicks a wad of like muddy dirt at you.
Nyx, you have to kill him.
Anyone right now.
Anyone.
All right, guys, kill them all.
Yeah, kill him.
good guys.
Hey.
Let Kazuya sort him out.
Yeah.
So this doesn't make much sense to her because this is a pretty desperate situation, and if we were really, like in need of we're in need of rapidly burying our dead, but like it just feels like she's being told what to do. Oh, she don't like that. And she feels like she's being watched over, and now she's gotten dirt kicked at her. So she's just mad and she's tired. So she's gonna throw down her shovel.
Enough. Just.
Yeah.
All right. So you throw it down, and what do you do? What do you say?
I stomp away.
Okay. So you throw down your shovel and you start to like walk away and make a reflex check.
a 31.
All right. So this guy kind of does the like half hug thing where like puts one arm around out in front to stop you. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where do you think you're going? And he's like, yeah. And we're going to make an opposed strength roll. Okay.
Okay.
For something akin to a grapple.
I think that would be either athletics or I think it would be athletics.
Okay. You can use your athletics or your straight dex, whichever you prefer is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
let's see.
acrobatics could apply here. I'm not sure.
Well, considering you're like already in contact, I think it'd be hard to get away.
Yeah.
But let's
So
just go
athletics?
straight for strength. Yeah, like we're trying to push them away.
Okay.
So I got a 29. Let's see if you can beat that.
No, I got an 18.
No.
Okay, no problem. So this guy is big and strong and metal, right? And I want you to roll me a perception check real quick. But as you kind of push against his arm and you lean into it, you can feel his arm almost like stretching like a rubber band, you know, or like an action figure that has rubber bands inside of the armor, you know? And his arm is actually getting bigger to contain you. And I see you got a 32 on that roll. So
Yes.
in that moment, you look down and you realize there is nothing connecting these pieces of armor. Like there's nothing inside the suit of armor. It's just a hollow suit. And he flings you back and you fall into the pit you were digging. Like I said, it's not terribly deep, but when you fall, it's like
Wait. Sorry, my headset just died.
Oh, bye.
She's like, I can't do this again. I have to turn my headset off. Bye. Forever.
I have to return some videotape.
Oh god.
Okay, I'm back.
And then you end up dying. So
Fuck. Oh.
no. So you're pushing against his arm. You realize the suits are hollow, right? But he springboards you back like a rubber band. And as you fall into the pit that you were digging, remember it wasn't very deep, but you fall like it's like a 12-foot deep grave, and you just go falling way back in there. Luckily, with your good roll, you don't knock the wind out of yourself or anything, but you hit the bottom of this pit with a like splat, you know? And you can look way up there and you see the field knight standing up there, and him and the other three are kind of looking in the hole, and they're like, they have that very metallic like ha 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 ha, and they're kind of laughing down at you. And the guy who pushed you in there, he says, you don't want to end up like her, so listen to what we say. And he gestures, and you look next to you and you realize it's another one of that same woman.
Oh.
I hate this.
Go ahead and roll a will save with a negative 10.
That's what I was gonna say with the negative 10.
Okay, this time I'm just gonna take 10 off of her modifier.
Yeah, just subtract it.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh,
A 9.
bud.
Okay.
Oh, bud. You don't even have any hero points you can use. You can't hero point that.
So you look down at this woman, and as you do, it's like this revelation that you're looking into a mirror, that this person is you, you know, and you don't really recognize her, you don't really understand, but there's this moment of like, I will not be this person. I will not let that happen, you know? And you don't know their fate. You don't understand why they would be this way, but this fear inside of you of being that person and being alone in this big giant pit and ending up like her, just alone, forgotten, one of many faceless people, is not going to be you. And you feel this pain in your stomach, like that sinking feeling in your gut again. And you reach up to put your hand to it, and you realize there is a dagger stuck inside you. And you don't look down at it. You just hold the hilt. You feel it. And you're holding the end of the blade. And roll me a will save.
Okay. Okay. Oh, wait. Is this the negative? Does it have a negative 10?
Nope, just straight.
22.
All right. Because this is the first time you've seen the dagger in the last little bit here. So you decide not to look at it. And you're like, part of you just knows this is what stopped that person. But that's not going to stop me. And you pull the blade out yourself and run your hand across your stomach to realize that's not me. That's not gonna be me, right? And you kind of turn the blade over in your hand and you realize that, like, you know this weapon and it wasn't meant to kill you. This isn't what killed these people. This is a different weapon. This is a weapon that gives you power. You know, this is the shard of this weapon is something to inspire you to be better than this person was and to do more. And as you kind of hold it in your hand, you feel connected to it. And you realize you're not some snot-nosed, brand new, fresh army recruit. You've been to the puppet show and you've seen the strings. And you are not going to take these people shit. And as you look back, you're standing in the very shallow grave that you dug. And the 4 field knights are standing around you like, what? Like, where did you get this weapon from? What do you do?
I'll show you. And then she's going to attack. Ah!
Yeah.
All right.
Go, Nyx. Go,
Let's go. Let's
Roll
go,
yourself
guys.
in attack.
Yes!
Yes.
With her, this is the Gloam shard, right?
Yes.
So
Oh, fuck.
she's
Oh,
like,
poggers.
Can I just help you out a second here?
go ahead.
Because I read the description of this weapon, right? So you're in the pit. This same dude who was like flexing up on you is standing in front of you, right? You launch from the pit at this dude, realizing there's nothing really inside of his helmet, right? You check the helmet right off. Punk, there's nothing there. You don't know what's in there, but you stab dead ass inside, you know, that hole, and you're going to hit something, right? And as you stab into it, you realize the other one is kind of rushing behind you, you know? And as this one is kind of running up next to you, you know there's another one just slightly further behind. So you pull the dagger out and in one swift motion, whip it over the top of your head so it stabs that guy over there and teleport to the blade. So that the first guy crashes into the other and the 2 empty suits of armor collapse to the ground.
Let's fucking go.
Feels
Oh,
good,
yeah.
man.
Now, as this goes down and you smack all these guys up, right? So I'm going to head over here to the board for a second and we're going to kind of
I
replicate what
love
happened.
board.
So you just mushed
love
this guy. You mushed this guy. This guy over here got stabbed, and you teleported over to kind of over here. And now this dude's like, oh my gosh, he's the only one that's like not dead. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And these other 3 guys are all clowned into each other. And as you end up here where you're at, you look straight across this field and you see Rinverhi like basically bowing up like bare knuckle boxing against a guy with a flaming sword. All right, Rinverhi, what do you do?
You're not worthy. You have no right to bear that blade.
You think you are? I will cut you down with this
I know
blade
I am.
like I should have when you were a child. And he's ready to fight. What do you do?
He's gonna try to can he try to trip Rafni? Just like kick him, knock him down?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. What roll do I make for that?
Let's do an athletics roll, because you're basically trying to outmaneuver, or acrobatics if you have acrobatics.
Okay. My acrobatics is better, so.
Okay. You can use that if you want. That's fine, because then it's like you're
Okay.
doing like a cool roll thing.
Okay. So I'm not gonna add in the modifier yet. 17 plus, so that's a 21.
Yeah, 17 on the die is pretty good. All right, so he kind of lunges at you with the blade. You manage to roll up, right? And you kick him off balance, but he doesn't totally go down. He just kind of like stumbles over for a second. But the way he stumbles over is like now you're kind of a little bit taller than he is, and he's kind of like trying to keep the blade from hitting himself. So he's a little bit holding it away from himself.
Okay, so as he's stumbling and trying to hold the blade away from himself, is he like he stumbled forward,
Yes.
holding the blade out? Okay.
Yeah, so it's almost like you guys switched places almost.
Okay.
Kind of like that.
And can Rinverhi, he like turns around and can he try to like further push Rafni down, like kind of kick him down and stomp on his back?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead and roll just a regular like strike, like an unarmed strike.
Curb stomp your shitty uncle.
I'm sure I get some kind of plus to it.
It should be your base attack bonus and plus your strength.
Oh, plus my strength.
Yeah.
Not great, but we're gonna do it. This is what he's feeling in his heart. That's a 12.
Okay, so with a 12, you run over to kind of kick him, and as you do, he like senses you coming, so he kind of moves a little bit to where you kind of kick him. It glances off his back a little bit. You end up more kind of like you were trying to leapfrog him and got stuck halfway, you know. But he's like trying to hit you with the sword now, rather than try to push you off or anything. He just wants to like wave the flaming sword in front of your face and see if it'll get you to back off.
Okay. I don't think Rinverhi necessarily tries to back off. I think he ducks underneath like the flaming sword being waved at him, and like will jump at him again, trying to tackle him.
All right. Roll a reflex check this time.
Sorry, I thought that was an accident.
That's okay.
All right. I do have a pretty okay modifier. And roll, please. Okay, that's a 34.
Nice. Okay.
Woo.
So the he turns around and you kind of lunge at him for a second, right, to try to catch him off guard again as the flaming sword waves past your face. And you run at him a second time, and this time he does kind of like a little matador move, and he like spins around a little bit, uses his cloak to kind of blind you for a second, and you spin around and turn, and he's coming down right at you with a strike, like head shot, neck shot, like he's gonna try to hit you right in your collarbone, break your collarbone, all that sort of stuff. And you're just like really caught off guard by it. And with your amazing reflex check that you did, you reach up and grab the blade. Right?
The blade itself?
Yes, which I know sounds absolutely insane. Right?
I like
and as you do it, you grab it, realizing like, holy shit, this is not only going to cleave through my hand, but probably cauterize most of it on the way down, so that it'll be all floppity for the rest of my life. But it hits your hand like steel, and you stop it right there, and you realize the fire doesn't burn you, and this blade can't hurt you because it's yours, right? And you are the person who this blade belongs to. So you're holding it on the end right here, and he's just looking at you with like pure disbelief. What do you do?
Rinverhi, like, he grips onto the flaming blade of the sword, and he doesn't feel surprised. He's like, this is right. This is my sword. And like a renewed flash of light in his features, and he stares up at his uncle and can he just yank it out of his hand while he's like, what the hell?
You can certainly try. Yeah.
Okay. I keep trying to do strength stuff, but this is what he's feeling. All right. So I'll just roll the plain 20, and then you tell me what that's for.
How's the cards?
It's not a 30. It was a 14 plus what check am I making?
Let's do strength. What's your bonus to strength? Is it like 0
1.
or 1? Okay.
Plus 1. Yeah, so
All
15.
right. So 15. So yeah, you grab it, you yank it, and when you do, you're like the best way to describe it is you did it so quick and with such confidence that you pull it right out of his grasp, and as you do, you're like, wow, I never thought I would be able to do that. Like, my uncle is so much beefier than me, and I just yeeted this out of his hand like he was an infant. And you kind of think for a second, like, wow, how'd I do that? And you realize that instinctively you're holding on to your holy symbol, which is now present on your, on your neck. And you're just like, thank you,
Oh, thank God. Thank Kasha.
As you hold on to it, you see this like bath of sunlight just come down from this like overcast sky, this, single bathe of rays, and just absolutely, vampire turns to ash your uncle right in front of you. Just,
wow.
And he kind of Thanos is off into dust.
Get fucked, old man.
And you look around the battlefield and no one's there anymore. Those field knights aren't there. Selir's not there, gone.
I think he would check immediately for that, and see Selir's gone.
Yep. And as you look back and forth, you realize the only person you can see is Howl.
What is Howl doing? Or wait, it's Howl, not Nyx?
Oh, no, it's Nyx. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to keep doing that a million times.
No, it's okay. It's the adjustment.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like drawing Fog of War pieces here by accident. I was trying to select those guys.
Oh, good.
Okay. So, Nyx, you now have your blade.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay!
Oh.
You now have your blade. Yay.
Yay! We both have our blades. Yay!
All right. And you guys are kind of looking at each other, kind of in disbelief that just happened. That, like, not only did you both just kick the snot out of, like, these, like, really amazing looking soldiers around you, but now the whole battlefield is cleared. And you're just like, wow, what happened? And as you're kind of sitting there staring at each other and you see each other with your weapons and you're holding your weapons, you're just like, we're not supposed to be here.
Do we recognize each other?
Yeah, you get this flood of all the adventure that you guys have been on together so far. And that symbolism of what this means to have all these howls buried beside you suddenly comes to present, that you understand this rich history. But just the two of you guys out here in this lone field with your weapons have that moment where you're like, holy shit. Like, I get it, I remember.
Yeah, and as Nyx is staring across the battlefield at Nyx, like that righteous, angry light in him, like it dims to something normal, and he'll start to make his way towards Nyx.
All right, and as you guys kind of get closer to one another, you realize you're in your regular clothes too. Like, you have your cleric robes and stuff like that, and Nyx has their rogue armor on.
Yeah, as they get closer and closer, Rinverhi's like, Nyx, and
Rinverhi!
he'll like bring her into a hug.
Aww.
I was waiting for you guys to do that like Predator thing where they're like, oh.
No, Rinverhi is very soft and goes for the hug immediately.
That'll be Bran and Kenopsia, don't worry.
Exactly.
Nice. All right, so you guys are sharing a moment out on the battlefield here, realizing that, like, we're not where we're supposed to be. Like something is messing with us. And for the first time, you feel this lucidity that like, okay, we have what it takes to fight back now and stop pretending to be what we're not, you know, and to not lose our faith and give in to our fears of repeating our mistakes or follies, you know, and to stop worrying about that and stick together. All right. Meanwhile, Devlin and Kay have just run into the chapel. You guys see Bran
just doing stuff with the cauldron.
He appears to be undressing one of the corpses. You don't know why. You don't ask why. He's arranging out some knives. I don't really know that dude. I'm not going to worry about him right now.
I have bigger fish to fry. I'm trying to find something that's a touchstone for me.
So Devlin walks you into the room, and he's like, and he sees the field knights and stuff, and he's kind of careful to stand sort of where they're out of earshot. So he wants you to kind of come over this way a little bit, and he says, "Now take a look around. What do you remember?"
What do I remember?
All right, roll a perception check.
Yeah, let's perception it up, baby. Bye. Modifier. Go. That's a 32.
Nice. All right. So you're peeking around the room and you're just like, okay, guys on cots, sick people, sick soldiers, triage stuff. You're kind of poking around on that table filled with medicine. You're like, what? Did I used to be a doctor or something? You look over at the altar. Was I a priest? And you're like, maybe I was like a priest?
A priest?
And you look over in the corner and you see the statue. And you see that statue with its arms wide open. And you kind of look at it for a second. And you're like, it has this beautiful marble work, but part of it is like painted blue. And you're kind of staring at it and you're like, God, that's such a beautiful color blue. I wish I had. And you were like, I do have a cloak like that.
Yeah.
That is my cloak. You know?
It is. Yeah. I think it's just like, do I remember? It's like looking up at the statue, and I think he'll point to it, and it's just that. Not the statue. No. But my cloak.
So you're looking at the cloak there, and you're like, I know that cloak. And there's this like gust of wind that just comes out of nowhere inside this chapel. And the cloak kind of billows out for a second, and the hood falls back from the cloak, revealing the face of the statue. And you instantly recall that statue is a statue of Twyla. And not only is Twyla the deity of travel and stars, but is also the deity of dreams. And she's wearing your cloak. Feel free to go grab it.
Twyla, keeping it safe.
Yeah, I think he approaches it. It's very like tentatively, as he like admires it, its handiwork, and just like admiring the likeness of his deity, Twyla. And I think he'll reach out to take it. He'll fall, but his hand will falter for a minute, and he's just, Twyla, thank you. As he very carefully plucks it and pulls it down from the statue, not wanting to disturb it or knock it over, but very gingerly and carefully pulling it down and kind of like cradling it in his hands.
All right, let's roll an athletics check to make sure you get up there and get that down safely.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's roll with athletics. Let's do it. Let's roll with athletics. I don't know why I'm healing.
No! Somehow Huey has gotten into this game.
Huey is
Okay, alright.
Curious everywhere. Curious all know it.
Roll 26.
Nice. All right. So you managed to kind of step on a couple of little broken pews, get up tall enough where you can take the cloak off kind of safely, and your hand kind of runs across the back of it, and you can see there's this embroidered kind of symbol, and you're looking at it for a second. You're like, is this like a paw print or something? And you notice the tips of it being rather sharp, and you're just like, this is a bear claw. And you're like, that's me. I think this is me. You know?
Yeah.
And you take the cloak and you whip it around over your head to like put it on. And as you do, Bran, you're standing near the other table there where you're like honing a knife, like you're getting ready to carve into this body here to do some cooking. And you feel that gust of wind and you're like, ooh, it's going to blow Carl off my table here. And you reach over and you grab him real quick by the rim. And then you look over and you see that cloak whiff through the air, and you see the bear claw, and you're holding Carl, and immediately you're like, oh my God, you're remembered of like these meals that you guys have made together. And you're like, holy shit, I'm not going to eat this person.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like a little
Thanks,
hot.
me and Kay, we've made stuff in Carl before. You know, like this is our special cult. We've sat around it. We've had little, meals together by it. And you're like, you're flooded with that lucidity. You remember now this life that you've lived and how colossally wrong things have been here, that this world isn't right, that you're not alone. You're not the monsters that you hunt, and you can slay them. You don't have to be afraid of not being enough, and you kind of hold your bowl and you look down and you realize, oh, you've got your ranger clothes back on, and Carl is now filled with a delicious stew out of nowhere, and you're like, yes.
I love you, Carl.
Mystery stew, yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Gives like a soft pat to Carl before moving towards Kay.
So, yeah, I don't think Kay even sees you. I think he's just too busy holding this close to him. It's like putting on a well-loved hoodie or a well-loved shirt. It's just it feels right. It feels warm to put it on. This is what he's been looking for. About
this time, Nyx and Rinverhi find their way back into the chapel to come and find their friends.
Yay! The door kicks open.
Surprise, motherfucker!
We're friends.
We're friends.
You guys
my uncle's ass.
see Kay and you see Bran, and you realize, oh, Bran. I remember Bran. That's my dude. He's got his ranger gear on. He's ready to rock and roll. He's got Carl. Hell yeah, we're ready to rock. And you guys look over at Kay, all three of you collectively, and you realize they're just kind of awkwardly holding this cloak over that weird military uniform that they had. And they still somehow don't seem quite whole. Kay, can you roll me a will save?
No! I'll roll you a will save. You want me to roll you a will save?
With the power of friendship.
No, just let me do it. I have a 20. It's fine.
Maybe if we just hug, you'll remember.
Yeah, let's hug.
Yeah, group hug. Group hug. Yay! That's a 33.
Nice.
Let's go. I saw tilt on that one, and I barfed.
Yeah, so did I. I nearly just yelled out loud.
All right. So these field knights start moving around, and they're kind of closing in. Bran, I'm going to move you over some as though you came over here to see Kay.
Yeah, specialist Kay.
Baby.
And I'm going to scoot you guys in a bit closer too. So as y'all were kind of getting together and trying to figure things out right there, the field knights are kind of all closing in, and now it's very apparent that they're moving with this sort of looseness where you can see the parts of the armor opening and closing, and as you're looking around this room, you see the sick people are twisted and mangled in ways that are impossible. You see the room around you is like different series of holy symbols from different deities that don't belong together at all. And they all kind of look like they're melting and reforming. And you realize nothing you've been looking at here is real. Like everything is in a constant state of flux, trying to appease whoever's looking at it at any given moment. And it's just out of whack. And it takes you guys a second to realize that as soon as you think you see something, like you say, oh, is that a holy symbol of Abadar? That's what it is, you know? And and then you start thinking something else and it becomes that. So it's like this world is reacting to you. So if you start being afraid, you get more afraid. If you start getting hype, it gets more hype, you know? And
Interesting.
you're kind of all standing around Kay, who's just, again, still just awkwardly fumbling with the cloak. And they're not distraught, but they're definitely like still a little bit lost. Like they're like, there's something still that's missing and I don't know what. And as you look around, you realize that each one of your friends have these like touchstone magical items, and that these magical items are really powerful things that they have had to attune to. Then that attunement is grounding them in who they are.
And I don't have that.
And you're looking back and forth and you're thinking, I can't remember anything that's mine. And you're like, I can't remember.
This is the only, this cloak is the only thing that's mine that I can remember.
You're like, I can't remember me. And with the cloak on, you reach down, and even though you're still wearing the military uniform, you can feel the scars underneath. And you're like, I never know who I am, you know?
No.
And you have that thought for a second. And as you kind of look up with this, you know, fearful look, you realize for the first time that Devlin is 100% just fighting those field knights. Right?
What the fuck, Devlin?
We're all just standing around staring at Kay.
Yeah, you guys are all being excited, and he's just shoom, 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 and he's attacking. And he turns around, and one of them kind of grabs him by the arm, and he reaches out to you, Kay, like he's trying to grab onto you. And he shouts, and he says, "You don't need any items. You don't need any magic. Don't you understand? It's who you are. That's why you're here. Because you're the magic." And he starts to get pulled away. And he says, "Remember who you are. You can get us out of this. All you have to do is wake up."